Bleezy, man. MTD Studios, Charlie Park, Forest Boulevard, East St. Louis, stand up. Bleezy, man. Cloud chasing with Buddy and Bleezy. We here with the Bleezy Perspective, man. On today's episode, man, I'm gonna be speaking on Ben Shapiro, man. I know a lot of y'all probably don't know him. A lot of y'all probably don't even care to know him, but political, I guess, commentator, pundit, or whatever. He, to me, from my opinion, he a racist, privileged, book educated. He don't really have a lot of common sense. Moron to me, in all actuality. But he's, he supposed to graduated from one of the prestigious universities. I'm not sure if it's Harvard, whichever one. But he has a lot of billionaire right-wingers who for instance, if I was to have people sponsor the Bleezy Perspective or people invest in that, and if they gave me a check or something, I would have to pay it back. They would invest. He have billionaire people who write him checks 20 million, 30 million, 25, 15 million a year, multiple billionaires, but he don't have to pay it back because they pay him to push their agendas. And he says the things that they can't say because they are the face of Fortune 500 companies and things like that. So this is how he basically receives his money. So he peddled their propaganda, to the masses of, the Republicans and right wingers. I was watching a video of the Young Turks, which is one of the shows I love. That's kind of where I get a little bit of this inspiration from. But I was watching Hannah, and she was showing this video. And it was of the Ben Shapiro fella and some other white right-winger who used to work in Hollywood. One of the guys that was on there with Anna, he spoke on the fact that he knew this man. He worked with him, said the man worked with big celebrities, so he's a legitimate person. He had a legitimate career. But somehow he went off the rock and he independent. And he was complaining about how, things was rigged against him as well. But Ben Shapiro was complaining that because him and a couple of his friends had recently dropped a movie, and he was complaining that the movie didn't do well because he was conservative. So now Anna said that, I don't think she said it was her thought or maybe or whatever, but she said it was some distasteful things in the movie. I don't know what she meant by distasteful, but I don't really agree with that. But anyway, so it's actually a full-length feature film, and he was complaining about him being conservative. So I guess because he's the boy wonder and everything else in his life has been handed to him, or he advanced forward, that he figured that just because it was him and his white skin, I'm assuming that movie's supposed to just went crazy at the box office. So now I disagree with him. The movie did not receive a lot of critical acclaim because he's Republican, he's conservative. That's how I felt before I viewed the movie. And after viewing the movie, I still disagree with him that the movie didn't do well because he's Republican. I don't agree with that. I watched the movie. honestly, it's a real good movie. It's actually a good film. The storyline, it goes together. Like, it makes sense. You know, it has like it has dialogue that have you wondering, like, how did somebody must went through this, like, for us to, okay, well, let me explain what I mean. It's a girl in the movie. Her mother has passed, you know, and at times in the movie, her mom appears and tell her decisions to make or just talk. You know, they have dialogue. So I feel like when people write movies like that and things like that, I feel like maybe they experienced that someone they lost or something. So that's what I mean by that. But the movie is actually a pretty good movie. Now, this is why I think the movie didn't receive such critical acclaim. And maybe this is what Anna meant as distasteful. The movie is based on an active shooter in a high school. So that's the storyline. It's an active shooter. And I'm assuming that's something you don't sensationalize, but I've seen movies before his that's based on active shooters. But this movie here, like, really went into, you could tell it was like they studied what took place in past shootings in schools and what parameters they used to secure it or what the measures is. So you can tell they dug into that to exploit it for the movie. So maybe that's why I didn't do well, and I guess that's what she means by distasteful. Like, it's a scene in the movie where one of the students who's an active shooter has one of the teachers take her shirt off. So that could be distasteful. But they didn't show her. So, but I don't know if I would have still enjoyed the movie if he himself would have been in it. Because I just don't like him. I don't like the way he talk. I don't like the dialect in the way he talk. He talk fast and then short, little quick, little spurts. He sound like a robot, you know. So I don't really like it. But I'm just thinking it was the storyline of what the storyline was based on, because the storyline actually made sense. It was actually a good movie. And I was assuming the girl was going to be like invincible and super hand-to-hand combating a shooter. No, she killed 2 people in the movie, but it was a have to do. And she saved a lot of lives, not by killing and attacking people. You know, it was actually a nice film. And I don't like the guy, man. He already rich, man. So I don't want to say the name, but I'm gonna say it because I enjoy the film, and I ain't no hater. I get credit where it's due. The name of the film is actually Run, Hide, Fight. It's a 2020 release. It's okay. And I get credit where it's due, but I'm not a fan of the guy. And secondly, finishing off, I want to talk about this Candace, what's her name? Owens lady. Angry black woman. Yeah. Angry black woman. Candace Owens. Yeah. Now, she's the stereotype of an angry black woman. Don't even realize it. But because as much hate as she has for black people, you know, it's just amazing to me how she appears always to be the angry black woman. But she has so many judgments and stigmatisms of people of color. So this is Little Miss Racism doesn't exist, which doesn't make sense for a person to have this view when I'm not sure if she was in high school, college, I'm not really sure. I forgot exactly which level of schooling it was, but she filed a civil suit for racism with the help of the NAACP, right? And she won. I'm not sure what the settlement was for, but it was a nice chunk of money. But I know recently, maybe within the last couple of years or a few years, she had the nerve to just spit so much venom on the NAACP that it was sad. But this lady says racism doesn't exist in America. You know, she's married to a white guy. You know, she felt like George Floyd deserved to die. She felt like Ahmaud Arbery deserved to die. You know, she felt like every black person that something happened to, they deserved it, especially if they have a criminal history. You know, and it's just ridiculous, you know, for a person to justify anything to make their own people look bad, you know, like, but she's the same type of person as the Ben Shapiro guy. They pay her to push a propaganda agenda too, but I'm pretty sure it's not as healthy as he received because, you know, he's white and he's a man. So I don't think it's that healthy, but she spits venom just on, you know, every black man, black person that's been victimized or something happened. They have to be in the wrong, especially if they've had a criminal history. That's all that matters. He's a crook, and this is who we're going to make a stand for, and man, stop. But anyway, there's Little Miss Racism don't exist. So, you know, she just had a black baby by her white king. And sure as, you know, the sky changed colors at certain times of the day, the racists came out, attacking her baby. You know? So, I love to see this when stuff happen like this to people like her. You know, when they think the other side love them more than they side. You know, I just love to see, you know, when the curtain closed on them. And, or they, do she have enough humanity to, like, come out and admit she's been wrong, you know, like, or at least just admit you experiencing it now. It exists. You thought it did, just say, okay, it does. But I doubt it, man. But, you know, like I said, I can't stand her either. But, you know, and I know, like, I'm a nobody. You feel me? Like, I'm a 35-year-old college dropout, been to prison, you know, all type of stuff. So who am I, you know? But ignorance is ignorance. I don't care what your credentials say. I don't care what type of degrees you have, what background you come from, what you've been through. If you're ignorant, you're ignorant. And these are two ignorant people. So, I mean, so for the people who feel like, you know, maybe I'm angry or whatever, I mean, ignorance is ignorance. And yeah, I'm a nobody, you know. I don't got no credentials, I don't got no degrees. But I got a little book intellect and a lot of common sense. I spot nonsense from miles away. And these two people are scums. And in all reality, I don't know if this is harsh. I'm kind of happy that happened with Candace Owens. I'm not happy it happened to the baby. You know, that's hurtful for anybody, child that won't do any of that. You know. So in that regard, I feel sorry for the child, but her and the father, especially her, made my day. So that's all, man, for the Bleezy Perspective, man. You know, just asking for a little support, man. Watch, like, subscribe, share, man. It's just me, man. Talk about what I feel. Bleezy, man. MTD Studios, Charlotte Park, Forest Boulevard, East St. Louis, stand up. Yeah, man. Centerville, Brooklyn, Madtown, what's crackin'? Crip Nation, we here. Do this shit for the town, man. Cause this the city where them city niggas fly. If you ain't smoking Zai, my nigga, then you ain't high. I only sip on brown, that other shit I don't buy. This that Charlie Park life, my nigga, give it a try. Cause this the city where them city